call me Mystic Mike because I predict these things.
Stephanie Luciano takes on Ravena Oliveira this Saturday at UFC Fight Night, Vancouver, Canada. And both these ladies coming into this fight off of losses in their last fights. Luciano lost to Sam Hughes by split decision back in March, and Oliveira lost to Tainara Lisboa by unanimous decision back in October of 2023. So taking a lot of time off, 2 years since her last fight, taking on Stephanie Luciano, who's young, 25, 5'6", with a 66-inch reach, 6'2" in her career. Muay Thai black belt, very sharp on the feet, very technical stand-up. Looked really good in her fights against Talita Alankar, defending the takedowns, and then in her last fight against Sam Hughes, giving her a run for her money in that fight. It was a very fast-paced fight, on the feet, on the ground, all around really entertaining fight. So she's had a really good showing of herself. Ravena Oliveira, also a striker, will look to clinch, will look to get takedowns, throws really heavy. I would say she's probably got the strength advantage, the power advantage in this one, but I would say that Stephanie Luciano is just a little bit more technical on the feet. So I'm going to go with Stephanie Luciano. She's been the more active fighter. She had a really good performance in her last fight. Again, Oliveira hasn't fought in 2 years. Her last win was in August of 2023. I think Luciano will probably get this one done by decision. Ravena, she's strong, she throws with a lot of power, really commits to her strikes, but at times she kind of overswings, leaves herself open to counters, kind of leaves her chin in the air. We saw in the Lisboa fight, just kind of throwing naked strikes, naked leg kicks, not really setting them up, and getting countered by Tainara Lisboa a couple times at the very beginning of that fight. So I expect her to kind of come in heavy, aggressive, throwing big shots, but Luciano's just going to be kind of popping and moving, throwing multi-punch combinations. She's not one to just really throw one and done. She extends her combinations, rips to the body, comes to the head, throws a lot of kicks, just has a lot of different weapons, much more weapons than I would say that Oliveira has, who's primarily kind of a boxer, just looking to land strikes to the head. So Luciano does a really good job with her knees as well, throwing step-in knees to the midsection to kind of bring the hands down, and just puts a lot of volume out there. She doesn't have the power, I would say, of Ravena, but she's also not throwing with 100% like Ravena Oliveira is, and she's placing her shots. She's much more accurate. It allows her to put a lot of volume out there, and she's got the cardio to kind of maintain that over 3 rounds. Ravena doesn't have the experience either that Luciano does. Both of them don't have tons of experience, but when I measure their records, their resumes together, Ravena's wins are literally over a 40-year-old woman back in August of 2023. Her last win was like a 40-year-old woman that she beat, who was 8-5 at the time, and then the rest of the fights that she has wins. Like, all of these finishes are people that are 0-1, 1-1, or making their pro debuts. Got choked out by another lady making her pro debut back in 2018. In her second professional fight, went to a majority draw with somebody who was 0-1 in her promotional debut. So not really getting tested. Doesn't have the most impressive wins, whereas Luciano, fighting Talita Alankar a couple times, who's very good on the ground, very high level jiu-jitsu, was able to do a really good job defending those takedowns. I think she defended like 20 of the 24 takedowns in their first fight, and then in the second fight she did a much better job of defending the takedowns and winning the striking engagements. Has a win over a 5-0 fighter, undefeated fighter prior to Dana White's Contender Series. The other fighters on her record at least have wins, and losses aren't coming in on their pro debuts. So and I was really impressed with her last fight over Sam Hughes. So I think she won that fight. Honestly, I think she won rounds 1 and 3. Lost a split decision. I get it. It was very close, but the thing about Luciano is she is showing progression in her fights. The Talita Alankar fight was getting taken down. The second fight, she was able to defend the takedowns and do damage on the feet. And then against Sam Hughes, who's very good and has a lot of really high-level experience in the UFC, she was looking really good on the feet. Got taken down in the second round and kind of controlled, but did a really good job defending those takedowns and making it close to where you could say that she won the fight. So she's showing better stand-up, more fluidity and confidence in her striking, better takedown defense, and she's only 25 years old, so she's only going to be getting better, making rapid improvements. Ravena, she's strong in the clinch. She had success with her takedowns versus Lisboa in the last fight, but again, I don't think she's going to be able to get in close enough to Stephanie Luciano, getting past the volume that's coming her way to get the takedowns, just because Luciano's shown, a really good job of digging underhooks and, being able to keep the fight on her feet. I do think that Oliveira gonna have the physicality advantage. If she does get a hold of her, maybe she will be able to get her to the ground, but I think Luciano will be able to stay safe and get back up to her feet. She was doing a really good job in the past fights, just hustling back up to her feet, using her whizzer, kicking off her opponents to stand back up. So I trust her to be able to keep this on the feet, be more active, be more accurate, stay away from the big shots that Ravena is going to be throwing, just with her defense and her footwork and her movement, cutting angles, things like that. So she also has a good chin. We saw her eat a flush head kick from Toledo Alencar, and she just kind of smiled and kept moving forward. Wasn't taking a lot of big shots from Sam Hughes. Never been finished, only losing by decision. So I trust Luciano to be a little bit better on the feet and get this one done by decision. Thanks.